Most cold email campaigns are absolutely terrible, and I can say that with confidence because I check my spam folder almost every single day and see the types of emails that people out there are sending out, and I can tell you that they are not generating results just by getting one quick look at them. And so what I'm going to be doing in this video is going through my spam folder, showing you the types of emails that I've received and showing you how I would rewrite them so that they can actually generate results, hopefully not land in the spam folder, and you can take away those principles and actually apply them to your cold email campaigns. For context, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Lucero. I've sent over 2 million emails, have booked over 1,000 sales calls for my clients over at my lead generation agency. And so I know a thing or two about cold email. And so hopefully in this video, I can transfer some of that knowledge over to you. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. All right, so a couple quick disclaimers before jumping in. First of all, I blurred out as much sensitive information as I possibly could. So there's no names, emails, companies, anything that you could really find that would make these people identifiable. So no one comes at me and complains I made fun of their email, and so that none of you guys can go out and figure out who these people are. Second of all, I just want to say these are my opinions. So obviously there's no objective best email thing ever. The data is ultimately what decides what you should do in your emails or not. But these are just going to be showing you some of my general principles I use inside of my emails, since I've booked over 1,000 sales calls, sent millions of emails at this point, and might know a thing or two about cold email. So if you want to take that advice, then here I am to present hopefully some of that knowledge that could be useful to someone out there. So first of all, we're going to take a look at this email. So these are all emails from my spam folder, and I'm going to be dissecting them as if these people came to me and said, hey Matt, can you take a look at my email and tell me what to fix? So first of all, subject line, explore updated data sets from Anivo marketing. So I have no idea what this means. So I guess it kind of works in their favor that it's vague, and I would click on this email because I'm like, what does this mean? But this also sounds like you're selling me something. Like, I think we're going to go on and read, and this is going to be about data, but I would make this more vague and just be like, hey, data question mark, or data for Anivo question mark, or something else that keeps it a little bit shorter, a little bit more vague, or maybe, you don't even mention that you're selling data. A good example, quick question. It's a popular subject line for a reason because it's a kind of a vague subject line. It gets people to open. At the end of the day, subject line is not going to make or break the email necessarily, but I would just try and shorten this and make it sound a little bit more vague. Next thing, sending from an Outlook. I would not send from an Outlook. I would send from a professional address. This might be partially why this email is landing in spam, but I would send from a professional address because most people trying to do business are coming from professional emails. So now email in spam. Hi Matthew, are you looking for top quality updated data sets for B2B and B2C markets? Take a peek at what we offer. Healthcare data software, blah, blah, blah. Tell us your target audience and we'll provide samples tailored to your needs. Interested in a discussion question mark? Suggest a convenient time for a call with our team. So a couple things I see wrong here. First of all, are you looking for top quality updated data sets for B2B and B2C markets? I would reduce this down to just, are you looking for B2B data for your company? Or keep it sounding more human and keep it sounding more succinct. The second thing too is ideally personalize it a little more. I think they did a good job because I run a cold email agency that uses a lot of B2B data. So they got in front of the right audience, but they didn't call out like, hi Matt, I noticed you are a lead generation agency, so I figured you might be looking for data. Like explaining the reasoning of why they're reaching out to me specifically. That would help a little bit. Again, personalization might not make or break the email, but it's definitely something I'd recommend and I don't think would harm the email. Take a peek at what we offer. I'd write this in a way, again, sounding more human, because this sounds kind of like a brochure or a pamphlet, not like a one-to-one direct cold email. So for context, there's paid ads, there's content, there's cold email or outreach or whatever you want to call it. The difference between cold outreach compared to most of the other mediums of advertising is that it's a one-to-one medium. So on this YouTube video, I'm speaking in generalities, not speaking to you, Jimmy, out there watching my video, because you might be watching the video and your name might be Sarah or your name might be Johnny. If I say, hey Jimmy, this is what you should do with your emails, there's plenty of other people out there. And so I'm speaking a little bit more to an audience in a rhetorical way with generalities because I'm speaking to many people, however many people are watching this video. So I have to speak like that, right? But if I was speaking directly to Matthew, in this case, me here, say, hi Matthew, I noticed this specific trait specific to you, because email is a one-to-one channel and it makes it feel like this person wrote it directly towards me. Now, since he's writing in a general way, the main effect I'm trying to draw out here is that if your emails are very personable, then it sounds like a real person reached out to you, not like an automation. And the chances of them responding are higher simply because people want to respect other people. Like, great example I'll give of cold outreach. If you've ever been in New York City and you have some guy trying to hand you flyers, even if you're not interested, you're going to say, hey, no thanks. And you're going to respect and give them a reply because there's a real human there. Now, if it was a robot trying to hand you a pamphlet, you'd probably just walk right by it and feel no obligation because it's a robot, because there's no human behind it. So big picture here, if you can make your emails sound like someone manually wrote them, them. Obviously, a lot of these emails are sent at scale and automated, and that's normal and fine, but you want to make it sound human. So same thing here. This isn't how a real human necessarily would talk. Talks about the data sets. I think it's fine talking about the product here. The bigger issue I see here is there's 3 call to actions. Tell us your target audience and we'll send you a tailored sample. Interested in discussion, which is a call to action in and of itself, and suggest a convenient time for a call with our team. These are 3 different call to actions, which makes me really confused of what the next step I'm supposed to take is. So here I would either do this call to action, or this one, just pick one. I really prefer the first one because this is a lead magnet saying, hey, I'll give you a free sample. And I think that would work a lot better. So big picture, how would I change this email? And looking forward to your response, I'd cut this out. So big picture, make the subject line a little bit shorter, make this come from a professional email, give a reason why you're reaching out to me specifically. Yes, they did a great job of, reaching out to the right person because I need data. And then I would also cut the call to actions. Now that's just the stuff that I would say is immediately wrong. Now I wouldn't respond to this email because I have no reason why their data is superior to the data I'm already getting. So this is where in their email, they can layer on other things talking about how cheap their data is, how much better, easier, faster, whatever it is their data is. Because for me personally, there's no reason why I would respond to this if there's not a compelling reason of why I would do this. Now to an unsophisticated buyer who doesn't know how to get any data, this email could work really well. But either way, that's my criticism of this email. So big picture, I think it's mostly good. It's not too long. It's pretty concise. I would just cut the confusion with the call to actions, make it sound like a more direct human interaction, and then also maybe give examples of why I should use your data. Not just like, hey, we have data, but like, hey, we have specific data on these industries, which they do, but also talk about how cheap the data is, how much faster it is, how much better. Like, hey, I can turn it around to you in 12 hours or 10 hours or 2 hours, or hey, it's a cent per contact, which is pretty cheap compared to most data sources. So if they had something there, I think that would help it a lot. And so this email, I think it's all right. Those are the criticisms that I would give here. Now, the next email here in my spam folder. So this one's called investment holding, which that's vague. I don't really know what that means. Company name is a respected global institution that operates to the various highest standards and invests strategically to achieve superior and sustainable returns at 4% per annum. So first of all, they're just talking about themselves. I have no idea what this email is. They're talking about them being a respected global institution. Little hint here, if you have to say you're a respected global institution, are you a respected global institution? I don't really know. That's for you to decide. But they're not speaking, again, in a one-to-one way. This reads like an ad. This reads like a pamphlet or something else. Like email is a one-to-one channel. If they were saying, hey, Matt, I noticed you might need investment help, like here's what we do, that would sound a little bit more like an email. So moving on here, we're direct providers of financial instruments such as medium to long-term debt financing through loans and guarantees to eligible investments at discounted rates, bank guarantee, standby letter of credit, blah, blah, blah. This is enormous run-on sentence. And again, I have no idea what any of this means. Maybe it's because I'm an idiot, or maybe because their targeting is off and I'm supposed to know what this financial jargon is, but this email isn't speaking to anything directly. We specialize in financing businesses or ongoing change in capital structure law. So it is a finance thing, but I don't know what investment holding, I don't really know what this means. We target companies with a defensible core business, mature products, blah, blah, blah. We also pay commissions. Let me know if you have any pitch deck requires funding. Big picture, I have no idea what this email is saying. So criticisms I would give is be direct with what you're saying. They're saying, hey, we can fund you. Like this is definitely an issue. I'll give an example too. I see it with like IT clients, for example. If you're targeting IT or you're an IT business, you don't want to talk about your Windows operating systems, your Mac OS, your firewalls, your threat defenders, your whatever. So you just want to talk about like, hey, we can make your computers work better. Or in this case, hey, we can finance your company. Like, do you have an idea for a company? We can finance you. This is just speaking in gibberish. And maybe I'm an idiot, but your emails are going out to idiots. And so I clearly am not going to respond to this. Also written in a rhetorical way, not in a direct way to a person, which I think is not very helpful. Yeah, it's just a very indirect email. It's not speaking in a direct manner, or saying that you're a respected global institution is not very helpful. So I would say this email has a lot of work to do. I would make it sound more direct, explain clearly what they're selling, give some sort of social proof, maybe like how much money they funded for other people or some other stuff here that shows that they know what they're doing, and make it sound just more direct and more human. So that's what I would give to this email. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so next email I got here, quick question from Matthew. So this is the subject line I was talking about earlier. Again, I like quick question. I'm not in love with it though, because a lot of people use it. And so to a lot of the sophisticated guys, like, that might receive a ton of emails. So whenever I look at this email, I see a quick question, I think it's a cold email. And so I might just throw it in the bin if I don't like cold emails. I like to read them, but I would say quick question. It might work in some markets. I would honestly try and think of something a little bit more unique. It's a great subject line because it's intriguing, but a lot of people know it's just a cold email thing. Next thing, obviously, don't use an @Gmail. That might be the reason why they're landing in spam, but people like responding to professional stuff. Hello, Matthew. I thought I'd reach out because I was going through LinkedIn and saw your agency. We've developed an email outreach system that helps agencies like yours get their calendars booked with high quality leads. We use this exact system to scale our own e-com advertising agency in Toronto to book 100 plus qualified calls in just a few months. We'd be interested in seeing if this system can be implemented for you. If you're interested, please reply with a yes to move the conversation forward. Smiley face, best, their name, reply with unsub if you'd like us to stop contacting you, sent from my iPhone. So a couple things I dissect here. Overall, I'd say the structure of the email is good. It's calling out why you're reaching out to me, explaining what you do, showing some social proof, giving a call to action. The couple of things I don't like about this email. First, I would say is, reply with unsub. Like, yes, you need to have compliance, having a form of opt-out, but then following up with send with my iPhone. Like, people do these gimmicks where it's like, hey, sent from my iPhone because they want to seem like a human reaching out. But like, very obviously, it's like, this is basically saying the email is automated. This is saying that the email is not automated. Like, I'm guessing you're not really fooling anyone. Like, I would just cut it. Next thing I would say here, I thought I would reach out because I was going through LinkedIn and saw your agency. This is kind of personalization, but you can cut this and trim this a lot more. You can get the same thing across with, hi, Matt, I noticed you're an agency. We've developed an email outreach system. Like, this could be 2 words or 5 words or whatever I just said it would be, and have this attached to this. So it kind of cuts the line out of this email here. Just to keep it shorter emails tend to perform better because people can skim it easier. So this isn't really saying much. I noticed you're an agency. I guess that's useful, because you're saying, hey, we help agencies like yours. And the main glaring issue that's wrong here is that they're targeting me, which is a lead generation agency, which isn't very helpful. And we sell email outreach. So again, this isn't very conducive because clearly their targeting is off because of their email, which might be why they're getting reported as spam because they're reaching out to other lead gen agencies, but who knows? We've used this exact system to scale our own e-com advertising agency in Toronto. I don't know why it's relevant to mention Toronto, to book 100 plus qualified calls in just a few months. Overall, I'd say this email is good. The main blemishes here, obviously, you're reaching out to a lead gen agency. Of course, this isn't going to work. I would say the subject line could use some work. You could probably get away with it. Gmail, I wouldn't recommend. This isn't saying much. This is on a product level thing. And this was my criticism too of the first email. It's not necessarily an email thing, but explaining how your product is better or different, or, a unique pricing thing. Like, if you do something in a guaranteed fashion, mention that in your email, because this email, you're just saying, hey, we have a cold email system, but you're not saying why your cold email system is any better or different than the hundreds or thousands of other emails that I'm sure people are getting out there. So the last thing here too, this doesn't sound very human, right? If I am a human and I'm reaching out and I'm saying, hey, Jimmy, here's my product or service. Are you interested? Please respond with yes, if you are. Like, if you're reaching out to a coworker, a friend, a boss, or whatever, you wouldn't talk like this. So in the same reason, I wouldn't include this in the email just because it doesn't sound very human. Maybe it makes it easier for his inbox manager to respond to it, but it's not helping making it sound human. Because the goal here, again, emails one-to-one, make it sound human. It kind of doesn't pass that like Turing test of like, hey, is this a human? So overall, I'd say this email is probably the best one out of the ones we've seen so far stylistically, but overall the targeting is not good. And there's a couple of flaws that I would imagine that are making this email not convert as well as it should be. All right, so the next email here, information for Matthew. I like the subject line. I think it's vague. It, kind of gets the point across where I'm like, hey, what information does this guy have? And it makes me want to open it. So I think the subject line's good. Hi, Matthew. Found your company online. Hope business has been good in 2024. I'll give a comment on this. A lot of people confuse personalization. Just because you're saying something that might be true, it doesn't mean it's a value add to the email. So, hi, Matthew. Found your company online. It's like saying, hi, Matthew. I noticed you breathed air. Like, of course you found my company online, or everyone's company is online. There's no specificity here. There's nothing specific. Like, hi, Matt, I found your lead generation agency in a directory or whatever. Like, you can make this a little bit more specific. Hope business has been good in 2024. Compliment, stuff like this. It, again, doesn't really value add unless it's specific. Reason I'm reaching out, curious if you could use a really good outsourced marketing team that I personally manage from our offices in the Philippines. First of all, run on sentence. I would make this shorter, more direct, to the point. And I would also, grammatically, the reason why I'm reaching out is to see if you needed a outsourced marketing team from the Philippines. Next thing is, like, I don't even want to read the rest of this because most people's brains maybe I'm projecting because I have terrible attention span. Looking at this email here, whenever things aren't spaced out like they are here, I don't really even want to read them because it's just hard to read, hard to keep track. And so I would recommend spacing this out or not having like a bunch of lines back to back in an email. I've experienced web developers, graphic designers, social media marketers, SEO, video editors, blah, blah, blah. Again, run-on sentence. I've had an agency in California for 16 years. For the last 5 years, I've been building our Philippines office, which we're focused on blah, blah, blah. Value proposition. This is good. This just needs to be cut by like 70%. This just needs to be reduced down to like 1 to 2 lines mentioning the main selling props here. If you wouldn't mind, please let me know if you have any questions and if you have any interest in exploring if we could help your business with outsourced web development. This is just run-on sentence, poor grammar. They gave a meeting link. They asked if they want to connect. Okay, so big picture here, email needs to be shortened. There's a lot of fluff here. It could just be, hi, Matthew, I'm reaching out because I want to see if you wanted a outsourced team from the Philippines. They work at 70 to 80% lower cost and can help with things like SEO and video and more. If you're interested, let's schedule a call. So all the stuff that they said here could be condensed by like half at least. So I would say that's one thing. Second thing, they have a link here. This could be why they're landing in spam. If you send links, it doesn't help your deliverability. Thank you so much for your time. I would cut a lot of these like pleasantries because again, CEO to CEO or people conversing between each other, you want to just have the like neutral frame where it's not like you're below them saying like, hey, I love what you do and blah, blah, blah. Or, I don't think it's bad to say I love what you do if you have a genuine reason. But here, I think it's just too vague. If you're going to have a compliment, have a specific compliment. And a lot of the stuff could be cut so it's skimmable because when I see this email, I don't want to read it because it's too long. And if I read this far and I'm like, okay, this is a cold email, I'm not going to finish it. Maybe if the cold email was shorter and you knew it was an email that they would finish it, but I wouldn't finish reading this email after this point because I see this and I'm like, hey, this doesn't have a specific value prop or something specific to me. The calendar link is probably helping it land in spam too. So I would say grammatically, this needs to be fixed. Having more specificity with the email itself, and then also focusing more again on the value props. Like the whole value prop of hiring an outsourced team in the Philippines is that you can get a 70 to 80% cheaper labor than in the US and get the same work done. And that is something that's buried in this email. Or I don't want to say buried, but it's at the end of this little chunk here, which you want to front load at the top of the email. Like, hi, Matt, I noticed you run an agency. Are you looking for cheaper lead generation talent? We can help you, blah, 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 blah. Go into the call to action here. And then I would also cut the link because that could be making it land in spam. So that's my feedback for this email. I think this email, like the offer isn't necessarily terrible if they could have some sort of risk reversal or something unique because there's a lot of people selling outsourced staffing solutions that would help. But overall, I think this email is something that could be worked with, just needs a couple of fixes. All right, so a next email here, another virtual assistant staffing solutions here. Are you looking for cost-effective virtual employees? Already can tell. This looks really spammy because no one talks like this. No one does all caps. Sent from an @Gmail. You can even see Gmail saying this email looks dangerous, which is crazy. Hi, Matthew, following up on my previous email. Maybe it was a previous email I missed, whatever. Just want to see if you're looking for any of our help in our solutions. Software development, IT services, mortgage services, blah, blah, blah. You can see this is just partially broken English. Looking for help in any of our solutions listed below. Obviously, this is more of just a matter of like speaking in plain English. Hi, name. Just want to check to see if you're looking for help with insert this, this, this. And then there's no real value prop here. So this email is missing a value prop, missing a reason. Maybe I'm missing in the first email. So maybe their first email is executed perfectly, but they need to have more specificity. They need to explain why their offer specifically is relevant to me. And then also I would explain like, hi, Matt, reaching out because we're a staffing firm. We do this, give a clear call to action and also give a clear benefit of what they do. Please suggest a day and time. Again, if you give value up first, that would probably help this email too. So this email, there's a lot of work to be done, and let's jump into the last email here. All right. So the last email here, complete assessment report of Anivo Marketing's website, www.anivomarketing. And you can see sent from a Gmail, complete assessment report. Subject line, not going to make or break the email, but I would probably keep this short, more vague, and other things would make me want to open it. Complete assessment report is actually like, oh, maybe there is something that in here that's useful. But personally, I look at this and I'm like, this looks like a crazy subject line just because it sounds intriguing because it sounds like there might be something free in there. But if you're looking in the preview text, you're not going to see that. And it doesn't give a reason to open it. So like rule of thumb for subject lines, you want to make it sound human and like something a coworker would send. Hi, Matthew. I hope you're having a great great day. You can cut this. There's no reason why you'd have that. One of our clients in the marketing and advertising industry looks pretty clear like they just did a merge field, because Anevo is probably a marketing agency, which looks really strange because no one talks like this and no one bolds their letters out of the blue. Was able to generate 53% more leads after implementing the changes we recommended for their business website. Would you be interested in something similar? On that note, I have conducted a thorough performance review. Would you like me to send it across free of charge? Should I mail it to you now? Let me know what you think. Have a great day. A lot of things wrong with this email. It doesn't pass that, hey, this was written directly to me test, which is no one talks like this. No one bolds their stuff like this. So cut the bolding, cut a lot of this stuff, and explain more directly what they're selling. They're selling me a free report of something. And I see this like, obviously, the emails that land in spam are like the craziest examples of the stuff that's usually the worst. And usually there can also be good emails in spam. So that could be a deliverability thing. But generally, I see this with a lot of people that I reviews emails is they're not being specific of what they're even selling. So they're selling like a report, but I don't even know what the product or service is. I'm assuming they have a report so they can sell maybe a website on the back end or a conversion rate optimization. I would just lead with that. Hi, Matt. I noticed there are some flaws on your website that could be causing you to miss out on more leads. We can do a free audit and show you exactly what you're missing out on. Can I show you? Being more directive, like just talking about like, hey, there are some conversion rate flaws or there's some issues. You can be a little bit more direct or give some insight into the product or service, unless what you're selling is the report, which I guess could be fine too. Yeah, I'd cut a lot of the great day. Hope you're having a great day. Just keep it short, direct. Talk to them like they're an executive, because a lot of the people that you're reaching out to are executives or CEOs, owners, founders, whatever. Hi, Matt. Want to reach out because I noticed there are some issues that are ruining the conversion rate of your website. I have a free report I put together. Can I shoot it over to you? Something like that I think would do a lot better. And that's even assuming they're selling conversion rate optimization. I don't know what they're selling. Maybe they're selling web design, or maybe they're selling who knows what. There should just be some tie-in and keep this kind of short and direct. And yeah, I would say the same thing with the yes thing. Like I wouldn't say, hey, respond yes if you want this. Just make it sound more human, because this very clearly looks like someone automated it. And that's a big theme of a lot of these emails, is they just look automated. And if you had an email that looked human, then a lot more people would probably respond to it. All right, so that wraps up today's video, and hopefully you got a couple of insights that you can apply to some of your cold email campaigns so you don't land in the spam folder like some of those people. And if you're looking for help with cold email and you want someone like me to help you out, you can check out one of the first links in the description below. Anevo Marketing, it's our agency. We help businesses scale with cold email. So if you're interested, check out one of the links below. We also have a newsletter, More Leads, More Money. We have a free cold email masterclass embedded in there if you want to check it out. And if you want to check out more videos on this channel to learn more about cold email, there's probably a video somewhere near here that you can click and watch and learn a little bit more about cold email. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and appreciate you guys a ton, and take care.